Palm Bay Magnet High School, Melbourne, Florida, home of the Pirates. Wrestling is one of the many activities offered at the school, and if young teenage girls will be wrestling, you can guess who's going to be there hosting the event. None other than Chasyn Rance, a professional wrestling trainer and connoisseur of teenagers. Registered sex offender. This was an event where special needs children got to step into the ring, wrestle alongside Rance and his team, and even sign a one-day pro contract. Sounds heartwarming, except for one major red flag. Rance's criminal history involves minors. I know what you're thinking. How does someone with that kind of background get anywhere near a school event with vulnerable children? That's exactly what the people in the community are asking too. According to the Space Coast Rocket, this wasn't even the first time. Rance's group, Team Vision Dojo, pulled this off at the same school last year. And get this, the school's district says it went through proper approval procedures. But clearly, something isn't adding up here. If that wasn't bad enough, the Space Coast Rocket dropped another bombshell. Chasyn Rance's brother, Ashton Rance, was also convicted of sex crimes. You heard that correct. This thirst for the young seems to run in the family. Ashton also was present at many of Chasyn's events. According to the report, Ashton's crimes involved a toddler. Let that sink in for a moment. The article does not say if Ashton was directly involved in the Inclusion Mania event at Palm Bay Magnet High or the Space Coast Daily Fair, but the fact that he's tied to Chasyn's family and that Chasyn, still running these events with children, raises even more alarm bells.
Enjoy the Space Coast State Fair, presented by Kelly Ford, October 31st through November 17th at Space Coast Daily Park in Viera. $10 gate admission includes free shows.
One comes to the realization that this is just another convicted offender able to slip through the cracks, create the perfect setup to meet victims, and continue to get away with interacting with them up close and personal. One concerned citizen also came to this realization and tipped off the Rocket about this, and they found 5 other people linked to Chasyn's Team Vision Dojo with sex crime records, everything from child to human trafficking. 5. At what point do we say, this is not okay? The brothers' angle just adds another layer of what planet did I wake up on to the story. It's not just about Chasyn anymore. It's about who is around him and why this keeps flying under the radar. Parents in Brevard County deserve to know the full picture, and so do the children. Team Vision Dojo openly posted about the event on their YouTube channel, as they aren't shy to showcase what they get up to. Let's talk a bit more about the location of this event. This event also ties into Space Coast Daily's State Fair, which is next to Vera Middle School. Chasyn and his crew were featured there too. Space Coast Daily's been under fire before for working with questionable people. Last year, the Space Coast Rocket exposed another convicted offender working their events, which actually led to a change in Brevard County law. It took effect on October 1st, 2024, and can be referred to as House Bill 1235, which closed perceived loopholes in Florida's sex offender registry laws. But somehow, Rance and others still appeared at the event. I know things have been pretty bad so far, and unfortunately, things are only getting worse. At the same Space Coast Daily Fair, a guy named Charles Maslin was running 2 big attractions, the Laughing Crab and the Snowball Experience. These are front and center booths, super kid-friendly, selling crab snacks and snow cones respectively. Sounds fun, right? Wrong. Maslin, too, is a sex offender convicted for years-long abuse of a 9-year-old boy. He's bragged about doing tons of events across Florida. When the Space Coast rocket caught him on video at the fair, he admitted he'd been there 3 weeks, way past the 3-day limit for registering as a transient offender.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Are you the guy here was telling me that? Are you the guy that owns these two? What is it okay if we talk to you? We wanted to do a story about food vendors at festivals.
Okay.
So you own which ones?
That one and that one.
The Snowball Experience and the Laughing Crab. How
Yep.
long have you been doing this?
We've been doing it 15 years.
Oh wow. And so, is this your first time doing an event at this location?
No.
Okay.
We did. I have to do this one.
I got you.
We did the Space Coast Seafood Festival.
Okay.
I think 3 years here.
Gotcha.
But that was before COVID. And then, with COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have a good partnership with Space Coast Daily, I guess?
Well, we have a good relationship with people all over the country.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How long have you guys been out here?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow. Do you just stay in local hotels here, or?
Yeah, we are at the Winter for 3 weeks.
Okay.
I've been back and forth north.
Right.
But we've had a room over there, at least one room for 3 weeks. I think we've spent about $2,500
Oh, wow.
in motels alone.
How many people do you have that work for you?
We have 2 here,
Okay.
plus myself.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What was your name?
Chuck.
Chuck, good to meet you. I'm Robert. Okay. All right. So do you guys have any other future events coming up?
Yeah, we'll be all over Florida.
Okay.
We travel all over the country.
Yeah.
We literally work all over the country.
All right.
So who are you with?
I'm Robert Burns with the Space Coast Rocket, which is a local media outlet here. So
do you compete with Space Coast Daily?
no, we don't do events or anything like that. We do local reporting on the news, stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Well, I definitely appreciate your time.
No problem. We also, this unit 2 weeks ago was filmed for Food Network.
Oh wow! Do you guys? Is this your big, huge crab right here? The inflatable crab?
Not anymore.
Oh, what happened with that?
My wife and I ran the oldest and largest seafood festival in Maryland for 34 years.
Oh wow!
And that was our mascot.
Gotcha.
And when we stopped doing, we got too big for the park, and I sold it to Giles.
Oh, okay.
The year before the pandemic, because he used it once.
Gotcha.
And then it's been in storage. But it's cool, isn't it? It's 60 feet wide.
That's awesome. All right.
I have no idea where it started life. We bought it used.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem.
All right. So there's Giles Malone riding around on a motorcycle out here. And those are the two things right here, right at the front entrance in prime real estate. So we're going to head on out, but that is the guy. As you heard, he's from Maryland, which is where the charges are from. He's been out here for 3 weeks at Space Coast Daily Park. He mentioned Giles by name. So he's got future events coming up throughout Florida. So there you are. People should know who is serving their children right here, Space Coast Daily Park. And there's Giles looking for me right now, probably. So this is Robert Burns with the Space Coast Rocket. We're going to gather the rest of this information and put together a report for you. But yes, registered sex offender, working here for the snow cone experience out here by a petting zoo, pony rides at Space Coast Daily Park. He's not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of a park. He's been here for 3 weeks, he said.
The instances of multiple offenders in such close proximity and all working with children adds too many elements of horror to the story. Children should be able to attend wrestling events or simply enjoy a snow cone without the fear of being preyed on. These should be fun, wholesome experiences for parents and children. They don't deserve to be tainted with the likes of Chasyn or his brother, or any offender, for that matter. So, what is going on? How does this keep happening? The article points to a lack of transparency, such as why aren't schools and event organizers double-checking who's around the children, especially children who may have special needs and are extra vulnerable. Parents and community members are pissed, and who could blame them? They're calling for stricter rules to make sure this doesn't happen again. 11. Get this, Space Coast Daily actually sued the Space Coast Rocket over their reporting on these events and controversies last year, claiming defamation. However, the judge didn't seem to think any defamation took place and threw it out, and the Space Coast Daily might even face sanctions. The Rocket is clearly aiming to showcase the truth, but it still doesn't answer why the oversight seems so lax. This feels like a systemic failure. Schools are supposed to be safe places. Events for children, especially those with special needs, should have airtight safeguards in place. But yet, we've got an instance of multiple registered offenders not just attending, but performing for them. It's mind-blowing, and the community deserves answers for such failures. People need to start stepping up. Children deserve their childhoods, their teenage years, to have fun, make mistakes, spend too much allowance at the fair on candy, study for the wrong test. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve to be put into the hands of a predator. When will we stop giving opportunities to those who can look into the eyes of a child and hurt them?